Okay, guys, come on. Have you done your homework?
Family life is demanding enough, even when you're in the best of health. So, when you're undergoing chemotherapy for breast cancer, just like Lesley Bennison was 4 years ago, it can be absolutely exhausting.
It was on a day-to-day basis, wondering who was going to bring my children home, what was going to happen next. I wasn't physically capable of doing it. Who was I going to ask?
Now, that struggle with daily life has inspired Lesley Bennison to set up a charity whose aim is to help other families who are going through what Lesley and her family went through. Lesley, tell us about it.
Well, the charity is called Chemo Mums, and the aim is that we are going to train volunteers. We're going to raise money to train volunteers.
What sort of things would they be doing?
OK. Our volunteers, I want to be introduced to our mums before they start the chemotherapy, so that they actually come to the home, they actually see what the routine is with the children, what the mum's likes and dislikes are. So then it's going to be easier for that volunteer to sort of step into sort of the breach when needed. And between mum and volunteer, they will work out how many hours a week might be needed, which child might need to be picked up from school, which child might need to go to football. Homework will be done with the volunteer, the teas will be made, and basically it'll be kind of around that school time, and that is the most difficult time. Because the rest of the time we just lie there in bed and just get on with it, sort ourselves out. And then maybe the volunteer might do a little bit of housework, but essentially it is around the children.
I mean, are you confident that that can happen? That could you have had a stranger come into your house and interact with your children and do the things that needed doing? I mean, do you think that is achievable?
You know what? There was some times I was so bad. I mean, I actually had, in the end, a mother that I'd never met before that came and took Isaac to school. She did actually have a child at Edgeworth School. I never met her. I spoke to her on the phone, and it was just, please help me. Whatever you can do, just help me. So, yeah, I'm absolutely confident that if the volunteer is introduced at the early stages, and it doesn't look like mum's had to root around to find this volunteer, as though she's failed. I want it to be that it's almost kind of like a seamless care. Like when you have a baby, you know that a midwife will come afterwards. You don't think, oh, I'm failing as a mother, I need some help to come and look at me and my baby. You know it's going to happen. And I want our mums that are going on chemo to know that a volunteer could well be there to help them, and they don't have to go asking for help.
Bring us bang up to date and tell us where Chemo Mums is now.
Well, basically, I made an awful lot of alliances with community voluntary services. I had to work out what my courses had to be for the volunteers, how to protect them. I had to get counselling, etc., and all the CRB checking. So I did an awful lot of work knowing how to set it up. And I also made contacts with Macmillan Nursing, a guy called Paul Kerr, who's now going to help me do my training course. So that's going to be a good collaboration. But then, of course, I can't do anything without any money. So all of last year was spent fundraising. Some girls from Bolton called Breast Quest, headed by Caroline Gartside, did a pink barbecue, and they did our first fundraising, and they raised £4,000 for us. And then we, over the summer, we had a calendar which was very kindly photographed by Lydia Taylor-Jones, which is one of our local photographers, and Cherry Red Designs, a graphic designer, is Steve Howarth. And between the two of them, they put together this calendar. Warburton supplied the money for the calendar as well. And basically, the people in this calendar is everybody from my work colleagues to my family who actually came and did little jobs for me when I was ill.
As well as drafting in professional support to set up the Chemo Mums charity, Lesley has got some friends on board as well.
I'm Anne, and I'm a volunteer.
Right. How did you get involved, Anne?
Well, I answered Lesley's ad in the paper, asking for people with experience. Right. And
what motivated you? I mean, why did you respond?
Well, I've been through chemotherapy, so I know firsthand what it's like.
Yeah, yes. Okay. Jackie, how did you get involved?
Lesley is one of my best friends, and when she was poorly, we all helped out, and when she mentioned starting up Chemo Mums, here we were, ready to help out. So I'm the charity secretary.
Right. What does that involve?
Administrating the charity, helping out. Anything that Lesley wants to do, all her ideas, we back her up. And
I'm the treasurer of Chemo Mums, so dealing with any of the finances and really anything else that Lesley wants us to do as regards fundraising.
Okay. What's your motivation? Is it because it's a pal, essentially?
Because she's a friend and because breast cancer affects the person and the family and friends as well. So seeing Lesley in distress, we all tried to help out as best we could.
And then we're hoping to maybe have a couple of mums that will come and collaborate with our volunteers, and then I'm going to set up a pilot study and watch what happens over that period of time, and we will audit that.
Meanwhile, if you want to get in touch with Lesley Bennison and the Chemo Mums charity, I've put details of how to do so on the Channel M talk board. That's channelm.co.uk/talk. I'm Kevin Duffy for Channel M News.